Hey guys, I meant to do this story yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to record. But yesterday was the 30th anniversary that this Iowa news anchor strangely disappeared, and she has never been heard from or seen again. I didn't get to record yesterday, as I said, so I'm going to do this video today in hopes of bringing awareness and shedding more light into this cold case. So Jody Sue Husen-Truitt was born on June 5th, 1968, and she was a news anchor for KIMT in Mason City, Iowa. She reportedly disappeared in the early morning hours of June 27th of 1995, and this was soon after she told one of her colleagues that she had overslept and that she was running late for work at the news station. Now, it is believed that she was abducted because there were indeed signs of a struggle outside of her apartment. But unfortunately, many extensive investigations have failed to uncover any clues in her disappearance, and she was unfortunately declared legally dead in 2001. So Jody was reportedly born and raised in Long Prairie, Minnesota. She loved golf and she played it in high school even. She won the Class A tournament along with her team in the years 1985 and 1986. After high school, she went to St. Cloud State University, where she studied mass communications and speech communication. She graduated with her bachelor's degree in 1990. According to reports, her first job after graduating from college was with Northwest Airlines. She began her career as a broadcaster with CBS affiliate called KGAN. This was in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And she then returned to Minnesota for a job at ABC affiliate KSAX in Alexandria. But she later returned back to Iowa for her career at that KIMT in Mason City. That's where she was at the time of her disappearance. According to reports, the day before she vanished, she participated in a golf tournament. She still loved golf. She then went to the home of a Mason City resident named John Vanceese. This was after that golf tournament, and that was to view a homemade videotape of a birthday celebration that he had arranged for her earlier that month. Now, at about 4 a.m. on June 27th of 1995, KIMT producer named Amy Kunz, and that's where she worked, she realized that Jody had failed to return to work when she was supposed to, when she was scheduled. So she then called Jody's apartment. Jody had answered the phone, and then she told her producer that she had overslept and that she was getting ready then to head to leave to go to the station. But by 6 a.m., Jody had not arrived, so that producer had to fill in for her on that particular morning show called Daybreak. At around 7 a.m. that day after that show, the staff at the news station called Mason City Police. When police arrived to Jody's apartment, they reportedly found a red Mazda Miata in the parking lot that Jody was planning to buy. They also reportedly found evidence that a struggle had occurred near her car. That included her personal items, including a car key that was bent and her red high heels. They were strewn all around the area. Police also recovered an unidentified palm print on that car that she was planning to buy. According to reports, investigators ended up interviewing at least 3 neighbors of that apartment complex. They all told police that they heard screams around the time she would have been leaving for work. So why they didn't check or call authorities, don't ask me, I don't know. Also, a nearby neighbor reported seeing a white Ford Econoline, and it was idling or sitting still in the parking lot at around that same time. Okay, so this was in June. In September of that same year, her family ended up hiring a PI from McCarthy and Associates, Investigative Services Incorporated, that was in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That group, in turn, asked for the help of private investigator Doug Jossa, who was out of Omaha, Nebraska. These private investigators reportedly appeared on multiple television shows, included America's Most Wanted and Unsolved Mysteries. Now, in November of that same year, those PIs and Jody's family members traveled to Los Angeles, and that was to meet with 3 very prominent psychics. This meeting was said to have been televised, and it served as a pilot for a television show called Psychic Detectives. It was said each show did generate new leads, but none were ever resulted in getting concrete evidence or a suspect of her alleged abduction being identified. In May of next year, so 1996, around 100 volunteers searched an area of Cerro Gordo County, and they reportedly left flags to mark anything that seemed suspicious or out of the ordinary. Each of those flag sites were then examined by police, but unfortunately, nothing ever turned up. They didn't find any evidence. Now, in March of 2017, a search warrant was conducted for a person of interest in the case named John Vanceese. Remember, he's the man whose house she had been at the day before looking at that birthday tape. Police sought GPS data for 2 of his vehicles, but nothing ever came of that, and he ended up passing in December of last year, 2024. Authorities and private investigators have since conducted more than 1,000 interviews, but none have resulted in anything or pointed in a specific suspect. It was said since then, anytime remains are found in that area or surrounding areas, Speculation immediately points to it's Jody. However, none of the remains have ever been hers and no suspect has been identified ever. Now, in May of 2015, all 100 members of the Iowa House of Representatives signed a letter requesting Mason City to declare June 27th as Joe Hughes and Truett Day in honor of her memory and other victims of unsolved cold cases, but they declined it, unfortunately. Then the next year, a retiring representative described his experience with this case, and he mentioned there was a cover-up by Mason City police and officials. In October of last year, 2024, police reportedly searched a site in rural Winstead, Minnesota that was being used for apartment construction. That was after they received a tip, but it turned up nothing. Then late last year, 2024, it was reported that Jody had a new boyfriend at the time of her disappearance. One of her friends named Steve Ridge did an interview with police late last year, and he said that he and Jody had been in contact daily or nearly daily since she had been dating her boyfriend about 10 days or so before the alleged abduction. Steve believes the new boyfriend may have been jealous and that led to her abduction. But other than all of this, there's been nothing else over the last, 30 years that has led to clues or anything giving answers to her abduction or disappearance. I've known about this case for years and it has always baffled me. Had you heard of this case before now? Let me know in the comments. For more cold cases, be sure to follow and subscribe over on YouTube.